Dibambe ngazibini kwi-studio eGauteng njengoko uyoliswa ebetshilo silapha kulamadlaka iThomas Titus Nkobi eBoksburg apho umfi uChris Hani abekwe khona. Silapha ke namhlanje kuba isisikhumbuzo samashumi amabini anesibini wagetyengwayo. Apha ke ndinqakule utata uSoli Mapayile we-SACP. Ndifuna ke sithethe ngezinto ezithile ezidlumzi nezinto abazicwangcisileyo ukuwonga eliqhawe. Mr. Mapayile, morning and welcome. I understand Gauteng has organized what you call a Heroes Month. Can you please take us through?
Yes, this program it's meant to celebrate the life and times of Comrade Chris as a gallant fighter for our freedom that we enjoy today. As you know that when he was killed, President Nelson Mandela at the time indicated to the apartheid regime that the ANC and the liberation movement will not allow Chris Hani's murder to be another statistics of freedom fighters that they've just killed and we continue to count. But that this one would have to demand a date for elections. So April 27 is actually printed on his blood. He symbolized the entire martyrdom of all our freedom fighters. Therefore, it's a very significant month that we must celebrate the achievement that we've made as a country, our own aspirations, what we want to achieve and so forth, and to mobilize young people in particular to fight against drug abuse in our communities, to defend social properties like schools, libraries and clinics, as well as other social infrastructure that the democratic government has actually constructed for our people. At the same time, to raise their hands to say what kind of alternative system we can create that can embrace us, because indeed the capitalist system has not necessarily embraced the aspiration of our young people. Therefore, there's always an alternative, and that's what Comrade Chris Hani stood for, which is socialism.
I know these are the plans that you have for Gauteng, but nationally, what is the SACP doing on this day?
Firstly, we have a program that we call the Know and Act in Your Neighborhood campaign, which is a basic services for all campaign, which is a campaign that is running across the country. This campaign specifically honors Comrade Chris because it's a campaign about people having access to water, to electricity, to roads, to health services and so forth, which is what he actually explained, that socialism, it's not about big words, it's about running clean water for the people having access to education, to food, to jobs and so forth. So that campaign actually honors him. But at the same time, we are also embarking on a program of memorial lectures to teach particularly our members and young people in particular to understand what Comrade Chris was about and also what socialism is as compared to the evil system of capitalism that creates inequality and joblessness amongst our people.
Now, taking you back on the day that Chris Hani was murdered, what were your feelings then? Can you take us through what went through your mind, your heart, your body and your spirit on that day?
Well, unfortunately, this was a very difficult period for us. I was still a young man. I was in the camps, MK camps. We were called through a combat bell, which was a system to organize soldiers quickly. And when we assembled, Commissar Andrew Masondo was a commissar of MK, and our chief rep in Central Africa, it actually arrived at the time in the camp to bring the sad news from home. But myself, at the same time, because I was attached to our commissariat, which was also linked with the team that was compiling news in the camp for our comrades, we had already began to hear this thing, but we were sworn into secrets that this thing is, people are trying to confirm, but it seems there's a radio that I used to broadcast the SABC Africa section. I can't remember, there was a journalist, Super Governor at the time, who had actually confirmed, and we used to trust Super Governor's comments as members of the commissariat were compiling news for the camp. So we were sworn into secrecy, and when Commissar Masonde really arrived, and we knew really that actually this has happened. The mood was very bad in the camp and everyone wanted to come back and fight. We were having arms and we just felt that with these arms, let's go and fight once and for all. But the movement decided otherwise, that this will be handled politically back home. And that's what ultimately they did. But obviously, in the same breath, that delayed our coming. We were actually the last unit to arrive back home because we waited for any other eventuality.
Now, as your commander-in-chief, How would you like Chris to be remembered?
Chris is a special symbol of our liberation aspiration as a movement. He represented all the best that our movement cadres should be, a humble servant of the people. He will go and visit families of all comrades who were injured or who passed on, to go and talk to their families, to understand how they feel, but also to visit old comrades. That was his essence of Ubuntu, that actually the liberation struggle is about people. Without people, you are not able to drive a revolution. And I think that that message is what we need to reclaim and be embedded amongst our people as a liberation movement, and ensure that all the aspirations of the people can actually be realized through their own action. The government, which is democratic, can only assist what the people want, but without the people's aspiration being at the center, the government is nothing.
Thank you very much, Soli. Sibambe ngazibini kusoli into zakuthi siyeva ngoku nalapha emadlakeni kutshiwo kuthiwa oyena muntu ebelindiwe utata uJacob Zuma usendleleni ngoku. Ndibuyisele back to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you, Nokolo, live, and we'll probably cross there a little bit live, a little bit later live when the